the club. That's it.
And you enjoyed the race?
Yes, I did. I did enjoy the race.
Well done. Nosipo, where you?
And we train together most of the time, and we are from location, and we enjoyed the race. And it was great to meet each other on the way because we know each other's strength and we're able to pick each other up and took each other to the finish line. And I'm going for Comrades 2020.
Thank you, Shalom, 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 Shalom.
Thank you. They call themselves Team Shalom. They call themselves Team Shalom. As we take more runners, we're coming across the finish line. Let's start with you, Tebogo. Tepo, I beg your pardon. Yes, Tepo. How was your run, man?
Today was a bit tough. It was hot. It's like I didn't prepare. I'm just happy that I did better than last year, but I'm very disappointed in my time. But hey, what can we say?
I remember you were telling me about your training, saying that you think you are ready. So now are you going to second guess your training given that the race was a bit tough?
Not really. I think it's just a matter of the cramps that affected my race. So everything, basically training went out the window after the cramps happened. But other than that, the first 21 was magnificent. We were on time, we pushed. Just after that, the heat, the cramps, everything just got to me.
Yeah. That's what happens on a hot day. Are you coming back next year?
Oh, definitely. This is my home. I have to do Soweto every year.
Kangi, the man from Soweto says he loves Soweto. Mkhele, where are you from, my man?
I'm from Orlando East, but I'm staying in Fulo. I just want to say thanks for the love from the people of Soweto. They showed us love. Thank you very much. I'm coming back next year. This was my first 42. I'm coming back again.
Lovely, lovely. And then you've just been joined by, where's this man from? The city of Johannesburg. What's your name, my brother?
My name is Serpo Deep Cats from House Cats Entertainment.
Did you run? Did you run?
I ran, but I finished up walking, eh?
It was a tough race.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know the beauty of being a DJ and you have to run again. Late nights and all that, you know. Yeah. But I finished. All matters, you know.
So please, next year before Soweto, when you come back, don't accept any gigs on the Saturday night before Soweto, please.
I mean, kids have to eat, eh?
Sharp, well done, guys. Thank you, Tepo. Well done, well done. That's my main man, Tepo. Ladies from RAC, one of the longest surviving clubs in South Africa, of course, having produced many legends who have even won this race. Today, the ladies running it together. Your names?
Lauren. My name is Kibisa Mang.
And where did you guys meet along here?
We met at Vilakazi. Yes, Vilakazi Street. Yeah? Yes.
And you encouraged each other all the way?
It's her first 42, and then she asked me to run together with her, and then she said, please, can you please run together until to the finish? I said, yes, it's okay, and I've got no problem with that, because this is my 9th Soweto, and I think next time I'm going for my 5th. I'm going to start her first comrade next year.
Are we going to run it together?
Yes.
Lauren, you have a running partner for life.
I do. Thank you so much.
How was your first 42 kilometer? You picked a tough one.
It was very hard, but it was utterly incredible. The people were absolutely amazing along the way. If yesterday was incredible enough, today just was outstanding. I'm so blessed and I feel so happy to have done it here. So thank you so much.
You'll be back again next year.
I will absolutely be back.
Well done, well done.
Thank you, Soweto. Thank you,
Soweto. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Soweto is the chant here on the finish line. As a huge bus comes across the finish line here. A huge bus comes across the finish line. The man from ABSA saying high five. 5 hours and 20. 100 marathons before 40. Hola, Kenneth. Again. This is Kenneth. Kenneth, how are you, sir?
I'm alright, and you?
I'm good. How was your run?
It was perfect, eh? I enjoyed it. Yeah.
You're back again next year?
Yes, I'll be back again.
Well done.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Maren. Hola. Hey, tada. Now, this is an interesting story. This man wanted to finish 100 marathons before he turns 40. He ran a marathon yesterday in Mpumalanga Kapsawup, and he's here today to run another one. As I first say hi to my main man, Taps.
Yo, what's up?
Taps, you looking fresh this time around. Last time you finished Soweto, you look...
Today I killed the bus.
You're running with Farai. How was your run, gents?
Yeah, it was really good. Huh? I think the whole thing about Soweto is you just manage your pace, manage the expectations, just cross the line. Anything else, we had to bring him home. It's 100 marathon before, and I think we did it. I think we did a sterling good job. Doing his part now, of course, as a celebrity, we need to take his part.
So you must make space as Lebu goes past. Farai, how was your run? Mr. Molefe?
Well, it was so because I started late, so I had to chase these guys. And a chasing game is not fun, but I'm happy that we brought John home. It's his 100th marathon. I'm quite excited about it. We said we wanted to do it before he turns 40. He has done it, so we keep going.
Well done, guys. We'll see you next year. 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 Yes, as we get the man, We'll wait, Mr. Molefe, wait a second. Let's talk to Don. Don, is this your work here? 100 marathons before you turn 40? He's emotional. So tell us a little bit more. I've heard a lot about this. Some friends of mine told me about it on a WhatsApp group that this guy wants to run 100 marathons before he turns 40, and he ran another one today, and he's done it. Why did you decide to do this?
It was a challenge brought forward. When did we meet in PE?
I think it was the 2nd of December 2017.
Yeah, 2017. By then I'd done about something marathons, and then we just decided to take it from there. It's been amazing. It's wonderful, and also I run in a pink tutu. They call me the pink tutu now. Cancer is real, and we all need to fight it together.
Yes. So the man is doing it for a cause, and this one's for cancer. And remember, alongside the Soweto Marathon, we have the Prostate Cancer Foundation as well, which is championed by someone like Ubab Bisi, who's encouraging men to go get themselves tested for prostate cancer. And Don is doing the same. Don, where are you from, guy? And how many marathons have you run this year to get to your 40?
100.
Sorry, to your 100 before 40. 100 before 40.
In total.
Yeah.
This year is 20 plus.
20 plus marathons this year alone.
Yeah. Oh, well, if you have a marathon every week, why double it? There's a challenge. Don't worry. There's 3 marathons you can run in the weekend. You start off in Pretoria, Wonder Park.
And then Ottosdal that night.
And then you go to Johnson Cray.
Okay.
He did that in January.
Oh, wow. Wow. Guys, a round of applause again for Don. And for now, we'll say high five to Don, and we go to a short commercial break as we continue to celebrate the 2019 Old Mutual Soweto Marathon.
It's competition time with 22/7 and Old Mutual Rewards. Stand a chance to hike through Machu Picchu, soar over Cappadocia, or cruise the islands of Croatia. If you use our app between now and February 2020, the more you budget like a boss, the more chances you have to win like a boss. We've partnered with Old Mutual Rewards so you can win monthly rewards to help boss your budget. It's simple. Download 22/7. No matter who you bank with, you can sign up with Old Mutual Rewards. Then earn rewards points for budgeting. Every 20 points gives you a chance to win a host of exciting monthly vouchers and our big boss prize, an experience of a lifetime. Don't delay. Download 22/7 and start budgeting like a boss today.
Well, lots of fun down on the finish line. Musiburi Whitehead grabbing all those athletes who are coming in and having a time of their life, if you would. But there's a lot of athletes that were also out there having a lot of fun at Vilakazi Street, where Tebogo Masehla caught up with some of them.
We're going to finish what we started. Thank you for the day. We're enjoying it so far.
Thank you so much. And where are you from?
I'm from Villavela. Yes, Limpopo.
And how did you find Soweto?
No, I'm used to this place. It's not a new place altogether. I was born in Alexander Township. So I'm used to this Soweto.
Actually,
we are not all paddies there in Villavela. There are quite number of cultural languages there. So, or indigenous languages. There's no need for that. But the only thing, we are used to this pains of running.
Okay.
Pains are our friends.
And then when are we good?
I'm just going to finish on time. It's 15 kilometers to go. It's just less than 2 hours, so we'll make it. No, look, this is my third 42, so I didn't prepare that well. So I had a target of sub-6, so I'm still going to make it.
Okay, good luck, Rene. Sharp.
That's fine. remember to get your Mr. Whitehead to come up here. Then that's confirmation then once again of those 10-kilometer results. An unbelievable run there by Desmond Mokrobo, training out at Zoo Lake with the legendary Hendrik Romana. He's been with him for a couple of years and it's beginning to pay off. He's had some really good marathon performances and now is finishing in a 10-kilometer on a tough course in under 31 minutes a month after having competed at the World Championships.
Indeed, for a marathon runner, he really took this race by the scruff of the neck, dominated it from the start. But there's some very good youngsters behind him. You know, he was the big name out here. But if you see there's 6 guys who've run under 32 minutes on this very, very difficult course. That's really, really good going. And then for the women's results, Glenrose Kleiber, who is having an incredible year, breakout year. She's become only the 3rd woman to run sub-70 for a half marathon, and she shows her class today by absolutely blitzing the 10K field.
Well, she's had a superb year with starting off with that sub-70 half marathon run in Buenos Aires in August, and it just got better from there and there. So Glenrose Kleiber really rounding off the year in spectacular fashion, and. Right, so Glenrose Kleiber wrapping up a fantastic year. We had the expo over the last 3 days, and that was also quite entertaining and certainly quite an experience for a number of the athletes.
I got pulled in this a couple of months ago to come do this 21. Obviously something different from the rowing boat. They've done a few sessions, so I'm going to try to go for just under 2 hours.
I like the Soweto Marathon as a novice runner. It was supposed to be my first marathon, but because it has taken some few months, I've tested myself with other marathon. But I love Soweto Marathon.
This is a race that I can't miss. The environment in here, it's awesome. You won't find any other race in South Africa that's like this, that run in a location with people showing love. You know, this is a fantastic race.
I come to check my fit level, because I've been off almost for 2 years not riding marathon, but keeping training. So I'm come to test whether I can still make it sub 3.
My love for Soweto Marathon is that my first race in 2017 when I first ran it. I realized that the love from the people of Soweto, it's great.
Next year I'm going to running comprises marathon. I want to qualify here for comprises marathon.
Welcome back to the 2019 Old Mutual Soweto Marathon, and we are having fun here as some runners still stream across the finish line after 5 hours of the broadcast, suffering through the heat, many of them, but enjoying the experience, talking about what a pleasure it is to be here and be part of this race. Earlier on, we spoke to the chairman of the Soweto Marathon Trust, Ntate Lokuno, who spoke about the origins of what has become an iconic race in the South African sporting landscape, having started back in 1991. One of those men who saw this race develop and grow over the years is seated next to me, Ubab Tulani Sbisi, who joins us here in studio. Bab Sbisi, thank you so much for talking to us as usual.
Thank you very much as well, and I appreciate actually to be part of the race.
How do you feel when you come to Soweto every year and see how this race has grown from where it started back in 1991?
I was actually looking at all three racing starting, where the first runner will be at Diepkloof, and the last runner has actually not reached the starting lineup. And that's how grown this race is in all three distances. In the olden days, we used to have 500 runners or 1,000 runners. Today, I think we have got about 50,000 runners here.
Now, starting with 80, as you're saying, 80 runners in 1991 to 40,000 runners today. It's a tremendous growth, and it shows how much this race is loved. And one thing that you always try and remind us to do is that as much as the race is growing and we're embracing new legions of runners, we mustn't forget where we come from, those people who have contributed to South African athletics, not only through the Soweto Marathon. And we've been fortunate enough to have at the Soweto Marathon the likes of Ntate Titus Mamabulo, and you've got another legend with us here, Ntate Mukebe, next to you. Why, Babs Bisi, did you decide to invite this gentleman here this year?
To me, all the legends, especially Ntate Mamabulo, the Batswadis, as well as the Mkibes, the late Zitulele, they made that race to be what it is. And those who are still alive, we have got to be bringing them in here and talk to them, because they are the one who make us possible to get this race where it is. And I made it my project while I'm still alive, that in each and every year I must invite one of the legends and be part of the race. Like Ebu Mkibe, he won that race in 96 and 97 after he was elected and part of the team in 1992 in Barcelona, which was the first Olympic we participated in South Africa as one nation, just like Springbok won last year. And he was the only one who finished the marathon.
Yes, because we had a lot of people who didn't go on to finish. Of course, Babs Bisi was the team manager back then, going back all the way to 1992, having won the old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon back then transitioned into sports administration. And that team that went and ran under the peace flag, not the South African flag, at the 1992 Olympic Games, it was felt had a strong chance of doing well in the marathon with the likes of Abel Mukebe, the likes of the Pepe, who was there as well. So let's talk to him here. And Tate Mukebe, firstly, welcome and thank you so much for joining us at the 2019 Soweto Marathon.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel about being here?
You know, it's so nice to be, in a race whereby you have won it once or twice. Then this morning when I arrived here, I was so excited to see so many people, compared to those years whereby we have, less than 1,000 people. But today we had something like 40,000 people, participating in this Soweto Marathon. That it was marvelous for me.
Let's talk a little bit for the viewers who maybe are just experiencing this race for the first time, about how this route has changed. When you won it at that time, the mid-90s, there were the likes of Joshua Peterson who won it 98, 97, I think, and those were the front runners, and it was a race that was dominated in the main by runners, shall we call them, from the reef. People who are from Soweto or from Johannesburg who are used to the hills. Talk to us about the route back then. How was the route?
If you compare the route that we ran during those days compared to this one, that one was a little bit tougher than the one that you are running on. That's what I can tell you.
That's what people always say. It was tougher back then.
The one that we ran, by then it was tougher than the one that you are running here.
Yeah. So when you look at the race nowadays and how it's grown, how do you feel about the Soweto Marathon?
Well, it's looked nice to see, how this race has been organized, and the spirit of the people coming here to participate into race like this. It's so beautiful.
It's the 2019 Old Mutual Soweto Marathon, and we're coming to you live from the FNB Stadium, where runners are streaming across the finish line. And as we encourage them home, those who are coming home in about 5.5 hours, having braved the heat, we take an opportunity to pause and remember some of the legends that won this race and did well in the past. We're joined by two legends of the game, Izinja game, Babs Bisi, Tulani Bisi, a victor of the Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon in the 80s. And right between us is Ntate Mukebe, who of course won the Soweto Marathon in the mid-90s. about being here and being part of this race, we've got the first ever black South African to receive Springbok colours in the form of Matthews Batswadi, also present, and you are here. How do you feel about being called back to be part of these races, being honoured and being asked to just to share your own story?
You know, actually to me, to see Matthews Batswadi today, that to me was, I only, heard or read about him. I never saw him personally.
Because he was long before.
Yes, that is why I'm saying it was so great to see him, personally. Then I appreciated that also.
And yourself, about being invited, how do you feel?
I feel so honored, It's like I'd like to thank, Ephraim Sibisi for, inviting me to come and, be a guest into this Soweto Marathon. And, like I've said, being honored while you're still alive, it's so great.
A word of advice perhaps to the young runners that are coming through, specifically about the Soweto Marathon. Number 8 was the highest South African in the form of Nsindiso Phakathi, a man who lives and trains here in Dube, Soweto. He was the highest South African in position 8. Joshua Peterson, speaking to him earlier on in the week, said that the guys need to prepare themselves very well if they are going to challenge the East Africans from Kenya and Ethiopia. What can you say to the South African runner that wants to win the race like you, like Joshua Peterson?
It's if you compared, the youth of today, like, the youth of the past, like, for instance, during our times, we used to prepare ourselves very thoroughly, thinking of that I'm going to compete in this race. You don't have to be forced to go and do your training. You have to prepare yourself nicely, eat nicely, sleep nicely, and make sure that you train thoroughly if you want to win this race. Because to compete with, these people from other countries, it's not so simple. You have to prepare yourself thoroughly so that you can compete with them.
We're talking to one of the legends of South African distance running, and Tate Abel Mokebe. Tate Mokebe, what are you up to these days? People always want to know what our legends are doing. Are you working with kids? Are you, what are you up to these days?
At the moment, I'm thinking about doing that because, as you know, that working, it's taking time of myself. So, but maybe, as time goes on, I'll decide and, go around my area and, guide the kids who wants to do running.
Yes, so which area is that these days?
In Tembisa.
In Tembisa there, and there's lots of talented runners out there. The Johannes Kekana running his group out there, and the guys at Tembisa High School running that group by Elvis Khoza. So lots and lots of talent. And let's now talk to Tulani Sibisi a little bit more about speaking to our legends, involving our legends. Baba Sibisi, you have been doing this work for years now with the likes of Bob Delamort, of course, who is a multiple gold medalist, second place finisher at the Comrades Marathon back in the 80s, of trying to find our legends, some of whom have disappeared into obscurity, and it's very difficult to find them and trace them and try and celebrate them and tell their story. What keeps you motivated to keep going out there and finding some of our legends and bringing them back to tell their story?
What touched me most, in 1987, I finished second behind Thompson, who has got a record of 2 ocean right up until now. He ran it twice. And behind me was Vincent Rakabaele, who was the first black black to win 2 ocean.
Yeah, from Lesotho,
and I
yes.
Finishing between those legends, to me, was an honor. But both those guys, when they died, I wasn't kind of aware. Maybe not forgetting also that when I won it in 86, I took over from the only guy who has won 2 ocean 3 times as a South African. And I think he's the only one anyway who has won it 3 years in succession. Siphiwe Qhele. He's also no more. I say, really, if we can't honor our legend while they are still alive, bring them into races and let them experience what's the difference that they have compared to the time when things were difficult. We used to train and be picked up by the police and end up in the police station all day. We must bring these athletes and let them talk to you guys as media and know them, because I doubt very much if you have met Matthews Batswadi. I think it's the
Never.
first time.
Just read about him and look at all the old records, the books, the wonderful book written by Richard Meyer called Three Men Named Matthews, where you find out some things about
Even
him.
Zach Chikalake, who's a very successful businessman, and that's the man who got scholarship with Murray. I mean, Sydney
Murray, yes,
Sydney
we went to the
Before-
US.
Yes, before Mark Plakis and Johnny went to America and all that. Those are the guys who changed the shape of athletics. They are still living here in South Africa. Let them bring in here and be part of Soweto Marathon and let people know them while they are still alive. And then I will try to do this thing, and maybe one day when I'm no more, somebody will continue with that legacy. And I want Soweto Marathon to drive that initiatives, bring those legends to you guys, and we interview them, because they've got documentary that is not documented somewhere, which you, as well as South Africa, have got the responsibility of documenting their history and making sure that that history is transferred to our community and also for the country, such that we'll know about all those guys. We don't know about the history of Matthews Batswadi. He's still alive, and Zach Chikalage.
Exactly. And so then what's your vision, your goal for this? Because I know you have a big dream, perhaps, to say one day I want to have them all in a room and celebrate them in some sort of way. What's your vision, Babs BC, on bringing together the legends of the golden era of distance running who were running in the 70s, 80s and 90s under one roof?
You know, I know, even you remember last year when I brought Baba Titus and I introduced him here. Even the guys from the government didn't know him. And I told them about the history. I'm talking about the world record holder of 21 kilometers and the marathon. Over the age of 51, he ran those times 65 minutes at the age of 51 in 1991. 2:19 for marathon, which I think you don't want it. You could win Soweto Marathon with the time. And really, if those guys are not known, and we don't want to one day bring all those guys, we book them in a hotel and honor them and saying, guys, these are the guys. And we put them, we have got social media now, and put it on social media, such that when people looked at them and saying, but I think this guy, I know him, I've seen it on TV, and he looks like Matthews Batswadi or Titus Mamabolo. You know, Titus has done a lot in this country, but he's not known, and no history has been given or documented somehow. And that's my mission. We will raise money, we'll bring athletes one day. I hope I will be still alive, and make sure that we introduce those, and it must be covered by TV and be seen, such that people, communities, will be able to have access of those people, seeing them while they are still alive.
A wonderfully impassioned plea here from Tulanis BC, former champion of the Old Mutual Two Oceans Marathon back in 1986, speaking about honoring some of the legends of South African distance running who have faded into the blackness of our very distant memory. And he says this will be his mission for as long as he's alive, to bring the likes of Abel Mukebe, to bring the likes of Matthews Batswadi, the likes of Titus Mamabolo, and others who have been forgotten in a sense by South Africa at large. We hope that this vision will come into fruition one day soon. Lastly, as we say goodbye to Babs BC, you are also a native of Soweto. How did you enjoy today's race?
We started Soweto Marathon before Olympics in 1992. That was in 1991. Anyway, I'm one of the co-founders of this race. How can I say I don't like it? It's my project.
Yeah, but I know you'll complain. You say, maybe the time was not as fast as I'd hoped. It was very hot. So it really is a wonderful race that we've come to enjoy and love over the years.
Of course. Thank you.
We look forward to 50,000 people for next year's Old Mutual Soweto Marathon, as was mentioned by Ntate Lokuno. And maybe next year, Ntate Mukebe here next to me can come and do a 10K nyana or a 21K.
I'd love to come and do a marathon next year.
Oh, marathon, not even
Starting from today, I'll be training for this race next year.
Well, he's committed on air. He's committed on air. So you're going to do the marathon next year.
Definitely. Next year I'm going to do this marathon. To see, the different route compared to the one that I did. That's my commitment that I'm going to do next year.
Lovely, lovely. That's beautiful. And let's see if those running genes are still there and if he can maybe end up in the prize for over 60. Who knows, for over 50. Who knows if he can do it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Babs, thank you as well for your time.
Thank you very much, and thanks for actually committing yourself. Please don't race it. Run it easy, because I don't want you to bail. You finished the Olympics in 1992 in Barcelona. So I wouldn't actually like you not to finish the Soweto Marathon. Thank you.
He says don't bail. Yeah, there have been a lot of bailers today, as we say thank you to these two gentlemen. And these are the brave soldiers who have slogged their way in 5 hours, 46 and 42 seconds across the finish line through the heat. They haven't bailed, and there's one looking like Warren Whiteley wearing a scrum cap and a Springboks jersey and the white shorts as well. He is doing it for the Bokke, as he shows how strong he is. South Africa, of course, world champions in rugby for a third time after defeating England in yesterday's final. We are enjoying the 2019 Old Mutual Soweto Marathon, and this is where we say let's pause for a little bit for a break, and we'll be back after this.
Now, this is where it starts.
It's time to pass on my culture. To break new ground.
To make my name.
It's time to make a champion.
To make my mark.
It's time to fly. The great things you do tomorrow start with the small steps you take right now.
The time
is now.
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 The time is now.
It's time to take that step with Old Mutual.
As the last of the athletes come through for the 6-hour cut-off time at the 2019 Soweto Marathon in association with Old Mutual. Let's just have a quick look again at what happened in the half marathon. Elroy Geland, completely and utterly dominant. He's having a fantastic year here in 2019. And I think a lot of it has got to do with his unbelievable good run at the SA Half Marathon Champs. He brought it further into the South African Marathon Championships, and he's been able to maintain that form. Below 65 on this course is an incredible run by Elroy, and he did that virtually on his own. Good run by Joel Mohau, Namakwe Nkasi from Lesotho, or rather Swaziland, a popular runner here in South Africa. Pilani Buthelezi, also having a really good year here in 2019 under the guidance of Coach Parry, who was our co-commentator here, and of course coach of the Soweto Marathon. And Glenn Mzazi running out the top 5, a regular feature here in South African road running. He's been around for quite a while. And that's how the women's race ended. Caroline Mandu of Zimbabwe, 1 hour, 20 minutes and 58 seconds. Rudu Monderwa of South Africa. Diana Lebopulula, also of South Africa. And Rebecca Tebogo Mochinsnyana, also of South Africa. Really good showing of South Africans in the top 5. It used to be foreign domination here right now. But at this point, it is South Africa doing pretty well here in the half marathon. But Caroline Mandu, the winner on the day. Right, as they're still coming in drips and drabs, we've got not too long to go. 10 minutes before the cut-off time of the 6 hours of the 6-hour cut-off. And of course, we're expecting a lot of people to finish in that last 10 minutes. And a quick glance outside of the stadium, you can see these people are still out there. These runners are still out there. They are trying to get into under 6 hours. Remember, that's the cutoff time. And it's desperately hot out there. A number of the top athletes were saying at the press conference that it was hot out there. It was brutally hot. So even though the race has been moved to half an hour earlier at 5:30, it is still very, very hot here at the Soweto Marathon, and there is no place to hide on this course. There's very little shade. And those who are still out there, they are feeling this heat. They know all about it. And these runners here, as they come across the finish line, they know they've got it in the belt, they've got their medal, and they have achieved quite a feat here. Here we go then, the roundup of the marathon results. Debeko Dakama Dasa taking in the last 2 kilometers. Was a really, really good race. A riveting battle between the top 3 in fact the top 4 after Lebenya Ngoka and Justin Cheshire had been very, very prominent in the early stages of the race. And Dasa coming to the fore in the last 2 kilometers and really just taking control of that race, and a very, very well timed performance by the Ethiopian. There you can see only one South African in the top 10, and that has become a feature at the Soweto Marathon. In Africa, the athletes from Lesotho, Ethiopia and Kenya, they love coming to this race. David Maro making a debut here, and at one stage looked like he had the race in the bag, but then literally hit the wall. Was able to come back a little bit, but significantly 8 of the top 10 under 220. Really, really remarkable performance. And Ntsidiso Pakati, the first South African, finishing there in number 8. What a race. What an unbelievable run there by Vet van Zyl. 2 hours, 34 minutes and 1 second. 15 seconds, 16 seconds outside, or rather 18 seconds, I beg your pardon, outside of her own record of 3:33.43. She took the race by the scruff of the neck, literally went to the front from the gun, going against what she said she would do, where she said she would take it easy and stay behind the ladies to see that if the other athletes out there were ahead of her, she would try and reel them in, but the vet's going from the front and literally taking this race by the scruff. And then Salem Abera Alabechu coming through for a 2:45.54 in second. She is a regular athlete here. She does like the tougher courses. She's won Mandela Day Marathon a couple of times, and that course, of course, also very, very tough. So she does like these courses. And Salem Abera Bechu, the second there. Right, still a lot of runners out there on the roads, and a lot of them are starting to be worried because the time is running out. We've roughly got another 5 or so minutes before the 6-hour gun goes. 6 minutes to go really for before the gun goes, and it's for those out there outside the stadium, it's going to be touch and go.
Yeah, it's hard work. It's hard work if you've been suffering through the sun to run 1 kilometer in 5.5 minutes. Probably not going to happen unless you get on your bike in a serious way. But a job well done to get through this course, through the hills, through the heat in 6 hours. So well done to them, and many of them will be back again next year having revised this and said, all right, I've done the sub 6, let me go for a sub 5:30, and that will be the goal as the last few of the 42 kilometer runners get over the finish line here at the 2019 Old Mutual Soweto Marathon. It has been a scorcher of a day, so we say well done, well done to all the runners who are coming across the finish here with just 5 minutes to go until the final cutoff, the 6-hour cutoff for the marathon. Here comes the 6-hour bus chugging its way into the stadium. They need to get going.
Well, these buses generally are very, very good with their timing across the line, but that 6-hour bus looks like it's cutting it pretty fine.
I think it's going to be late. I saw a few buses today there. I have a friend who's a bus driver, Fele, and he was driving the 4-hour bus. They got here in 4:02, and he said, no. I made my time because mat to mat we are 3:58.
Well, this is going to be an interesting debate going forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because strictly speaking, he is correct.
Yeah, and then I'm like, no, what does the clock say? You're late. So it's always just fun to see so many runners coming out, enjoying themselves, and also encouraging each other across the finish line. Now, some of these runners will have met each other on the course. They don't know each other. They met today for the first time, and they decide to run together to encourage each other. The camaraderie forms, and they push each other all the way to the finish line. Coming across the finish there, we see all the different club colors, Vitality, the man in the South African flag as well, draped in the South African flag, and more Vitality runners coming across the finish line. Time running out, and the announcers calling to those at the back. The 6 hours is about to be over as the man from Zim races across the finish line there with an energetic young lady who probably will feel she could have gone a bit faster with that great finishing speed here to finish in under 6 hours. A wonderful effort.
Well, that lady who came through and sprinted, obviously saving the best for last. So that's how you finish a race.
Exactly. And what surprises me is some, and I guess it's for the heat, finishing wearing long sleeve little pullovers. And that is, of course, for the heat, because you can burn quite badly out here if you don't protect yourself from the harshness of the sun. So important to use the sunblock, and also very important to wrap up as well to avoid the heat. As more runners come across the finish line, 5:57.5 is the time, so just a few minutes to go until the 6 hour cutoff for the 2019 Old Mutual Soweto Marathon. Remember that this year we saw over 40,000 runners. 10 kilometers, 21 kilometers, and the full marathon distance of 42.2 kilometers coming across the finish line. And these are the last few of those to come across the line here. And as the last few runners complete the race, I'm joined by more legends here next to me. One who has been giving advice to some of the runners about how they should win Soweto like he did back then, about how they should win the race like he did back then in the mid-90s. The man who also was a champion at the All Africa Games. I'm talking about Joshua Peterson, who won this race, and he's seated here next to me. Brother Josh, thank you so much for talking to us. How was this year's Soweto?
Support was good, and I'm happy that I've been invited again. Disappointed that South African guy didn't win, but let's hope that next year things will be different and we'll have a South African winner. Yeah.
What do you think about the time, just quickly before we get to the 6 hour clock, which is about to end, the finishing time of 2:18?
2:20 is not bad, because now this course, I know this course is very tough now, and I think the guys, they did their best. But now one disappointing thing is because they were running together, because I thought like 10 Ks to go. It will be like gaps and what, but I was surprised when I see them running like reaching 30
Exactly.
Ks.
But Josh, we're going to carry on with that in just a moment as a big bus of runners come in for the 6 hour cutoff. Less than 10 seconds to go. They're counting it down in the stadium. The final cutoff, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6 hours done, and that's it. Woo! The 6 hour bus just got in by a hair's breadth. The 6 hour bus just got in. The 6 hour bus was sprinting, and some smiles and high fives there from the guys of Kimberley, Vodacom Kimberley. and all the other runners streaming across the line. That's what we call timing it down to perfection and getting your money's worth. That's what they call it at the back of the pack. You get your money's worth, you've paid the money, and you must run for all of those 6 hours. Congratulations to them. Congratulations. Now 6 hours is the back of the pack, 2:18 is the front of the pack. Joshua Peterson, you were just telling us about the time and whether or not that's a good time given the heat and given the tough course, because Soweto it's hard.
It's hard and that and it. And then hi usually what to see so ke ke ba khona matha nako e le reng ya bona hala bo 2:18 bo 2:17 because now record ya ona chi ya e le teng hona chi ha ya matha khoseng e le teng hona chi so ha ile le go tliseditswe so wethe go tliseditswe borao khoseng ile ya ona mohlomong re tla bua nthong ene bothata ape le teng ntho ene le teng ke go chesa wana tswa tswa ha se watla 7 o'clock 6 o'clock so chase maybe le bana be se le bana le se ba utlwile tseleng o se ba khathetse se ba bolwane ke letsatsi o te mare ntho yona ke thabelang 40,000 ene ba batla ba reachitse. Now I'm saying to the organizer, let's go to 45 next year 2021, let's go to 50. So my wish is for this race to be the biggest race in the world.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes. I love that. And next to you, the legend next to you has been nodding his head. Has been nodding his head there as you've been talking about the time and the course. This man is one who's much loved in South Africa. Entare Dumela.
Sawubona ndoda.
Kunjani?
Ngiyaphila njani kanyama?
Ngiyaphila. Uzizwa kanjani njengoba khona la kwiSoweto?
Wow, nganyama ngibuza indaba enzima kakhulu. Ngiyathokoza ukuba khona. Kodwa mangibheke emuva ngizwa ubuhlungu enhlizweni yami.
Ngoba
yonke into ishintshile. Nabaphathi bashintshile. Ukungena kwiSoweto Marathon, ukungena njenge transport, it's difficult. Kubantu abazogijima, and that can be fixed easily uma kungaba ne-unity yabantu abakudala nabantu akade bazi ukuthi kuqalwe kanjani kwahanjwa kanjani.
Awusichazele ke baba ukuthi kuqalwe kanjani and nakhona usinika ubufakazi ukuthi wena wawukhona kuphi kanjani eqaleni kule race.
Wow, nganyama indabende.
Esifuna emfushane kancane i-bite size.
Kuna ngathi abanye sebehambe emhlabeni. Abo Banele
Sindane, yes, one of the stars. Leonard Chweni, ASA president.
To name the few.
Yes.
Mina bebengibiza amandla the terrorists ngumandla kaSibisi. Benginama dreadlocks. So bebengakholwa ukuthi dreadlock man angabashiya ngasemuva. So
kodwa balizitha rasta.
Bengulasta. Namanje khona bangibiza ulasta. Ebengisifunile. Sathi if RAC is a town. Ngazana lomqondo obhedayo ngiyabona kubani. Ukuthi if RAC is a town, then Soweto also is a town. Uma iSoweto ine RAC, mina mangifome iSAC. Leyo bekuyiSoweto Marathon, Soweto Athletic Club. Sasifomile iSoweto Athletic Club. Sahlala namadoda. Ngadesigner uniform yeSoweto Athletic Club. Ngayidesigner nge-Rockies color, Rockies Athletic Club. Ngoba mina bengigijimela iRockies Athletic Club. Yangithatha kwiMilulens Athletic Club. Ama-club esiwafomile eSoweto. Sasesibona ukuthi ngoba iRAC ine-32, the strong one. Tough one, yes. Ayiki administrator engihlonipha njengo Frenny Welch,
one of the legendary administrators.
Ayiko. No Pet Chips. Indoda yakhe beku Richard Chips.
Asiye phambili kancane nafika kule ndawo nathi iRAC ine 32 thina sifuna i42 saqala iSoweto.
Thina la iSoweto sathi sifuna i42. Bekukhona abobhoda besaphethe isara kanjalo. Umuntu woqala abeza naye Soweto bebengangena belungu la eSoweto uMandla Sibisi le rasta leli ngabafaka nokuthi la sifuna kube nemarshalling la sifuna kube nemarshalling uMandla Sibisi wenza
aha Bab Sibisi uchaze okumfishana nje mele ubuye next year sizocela ukuthi ubuye next year uhlale nathi la kwiSoweto Marathon uphinde uchaze futhi sonke istory ukuthi saqala kuphi neSoweto sesizophelela laphi ngoba isikhathi isikhathi asisithandi namhlanje
ake ngibeke nje kanje ngani yami abantu engabaletha la uSheryl Davis the first lady kuwina iSoweto Marathon yokuqala eyaba seOrlando Stadium. The first lady was Cheryl Davis uhlale Cape Town manje uJerry Mudiga ukhona la ngimazi kupompani wami. He's the first black man to win Soweto Marathon.
Beautiful.
Babethe ngeke size siyenze lento but we did it.
Well done. That's Ubab Mandla Sibisi who's telling us about the history of this race and where it started. It is absolutely fantastic to have been joined today by legends such as these, sharing this race with us. It is a historic race, a race which is much loved, and the people, because they love it, heeded the call. 40,000 runners running 10 kilometers, running 21, and of course running the iconic 42.2 kilometer race. What a fabulous day we've had here today, and we say a big thank you for tuning into our coverage from the People's Race. We say a big thank you for tuning in. It's the 2019 Old Mutual Soweto Marathon. We'll be back again in 2020. Goodbye.